Is blended learning platform a viable option for continuing education? Good day, everyone. Today, I'd like to share with you the impact of blended learning to our school leaders, teachers, and students. The primary reason for implementing the blended learning concept is a rescue experiment to protect school learners and teachers from the coronavirus disease in 2019. The teaching and learning environment is embracing a number of innovations, and some of these involve the use of technology. The effectiveness of quite a number of underlying factors that pose challenges. One big challenge, according to Hoffman 2014, is how users can successfully use the technology. We have this traditional learning that according to the way 2009, this mode of learning has been the staple for hundreds of years, from the very founding of higher education institutions. So what is a blended learning? It is a formal education program in which a student learns, at least in part, through online delivery of content and instruction, with some element of student control over the time, place, path, or pace. Lessons can be supported by discussion groups, chat platforms, and various content presentations. The new platform is a component of a new solution to continue education, but it has a significant impact on our students, teachers, and school leaders, even the community. It changed and made us realize that we have a poor education system in comparison to other countries. We are now in the 21st century, but our students have no idea what Gmail is because they are not exposed to the real world as they should be. We are satisfied with what we had been doing and believe that it is sufficient for our students. The question is, are we ready and prepared for this new platform? As you can see, leaders, teachers, and students are all in a state of panic. What we are going to do? Where do we begin? Everyone is looking for materials, technologies, platforms, and the new learning continuity program. Education Undersecretary and Chief of Staff Nepomuceno said, it will be a year of adjustment, feedback, learning, and challenges. But we are confident that the Department of Education and our partners' resilience will see us through. What are the challenges now? Number one is, putting out too much technology too quickly makes blended learning programs appear trendy, and participants may not take them seriously. Roadblocks can become detours, meaning that if participants run into technical difficulties, the content may be abandoned completely. What should be the solution? Use the CMPS technology possible to make your point. Sometimes a telephone by itself is just as effective. Make sure trained support is available for each technology. Second, most of our teachers are unfamiliar with various platforms, software, and other digital media. As a result, the entire world is on lockdown during the pandemic, but our teachers and everyone is busy watching various trainings, webinars, and meetings from the different organizations on social media networks to prepare for the new platform. Because our learners are accustomed to traditional methods of learning, the transition to blended learning technology has a significant impact on them. They face challenges like do not have a device to use, a poor internet connection, and do not have a conducive learning environment, particularly in our remote areas. To meet the needs of our students, the LG and other stakeholders are working together, even the school and the DepEd, depending on the context of their community and the situation. Despite these challenges, blended learning has significant benefits for both our students and teachers. Today, with the use of various platforms or applications, teachers and students can be more creative, and engage in collaborative exercises, such as breakout rooms. They learn something new and incorporate technology into their learning. It widens the scope of communication. The communication cycle is completed in blended learning, which would not be possible if we only use traditional methods. Students become more technologically savvy and gain enhanced digital fluency. Students develop such as self-motivation, self-responsibility, and discipline. Rather than relying on textbooks for the entire year, blended learning provides many options and sources of information, such as YouTube and websites, from which we can balance what is appropriate and important at this time. But besides all of its benefits, the blended learning modality had a negative impact on our students and teachers. It is not easy to switch to a new method if you are already accustomed to a traditional approach. It can take a while to reap the benefits of this learning approach. Not every blended learning model is suited to every person, task, subject, or organization. Employees who are used to working with their hands might also dislike sitting in front of a screen for too long. Participants must have a basic understanding of technology in order to acquire lessons and complete assignments online. They won't learn much from a screen if they don't know how to do it or they are not interested. Plagiarism is a well-known issue in the e-learning world. We have essential pedagogical methods in blended learning, such as active learning, problem solving, authentic learning, and collaboration that may help to enhance students' learning, develop their critical thinking and communication skills. This also allows our students to intellectually explore, discuss, construct, and collaborate. There is no single instructional model that will work for every school, but there are few that are good starting points for most. Flex models have content and instruction delivered primarily by the internet. For example, in my synchronous sessions, I use breakout rooms to allow my students to collaborate and work in smaller groups. They are participating in breakout activities and speaking confidently in small groups. The other blended learning models are individual rotation, the lab rotation, station rotation, the enriched virtual model, and the a la carte. Students rotate among learning modalities on individual customized fixed schedule. They can take an online course in addition to the core curriculum, providing them with a greater scheduling flexibility. The Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan of the Department of Education was guided by this principle. Ensure learning continuity through K-12 curriculum adjustment, alignment of learning materials, deployment of multiple learning delivery modalities, provision of corresponding training for teachers and school leaders, and proper orientation of parents or guardians of learners in order to achieve the effectiveness of blended learning in the midst of this pandemic. Make students agents of their learning. Educators must complement all those subjects with the forces to prepare young people for citizenship and the global workforce. If today's students want to compete in this global society, however, they must also be proficient communicators, creators, critical thinkers, and collaborators. We want our students to communicate clearly, use spoken or written verbal or nonverbal language, and collaborate effectively. Share their ideas, points of view, engage in higher order thinking activities like managing, planning, critical analysis, problem solving, and developing new, deeper learning and understanding. Our learners are the heart of our work. We must equip them as a new and multicultural types of learners in order for them to compete in this global society. As teachers, we put our hearts into our work, experiment with new techniques, work on technologies, platforms, materials, assessment support, and investigate different forms of literacy. Blended learning is all about good teaching. It is about knowing our students, knowing ourselves and the course, then finding the right mix of tools and techniques to help our students learn and to explore a variety of tools. John Dewey once said, if we teach today's students as we taught yesterday's, we'll rob them of tomorrow. How we teach must reflect how our students learn. It must also reflect the world they will emerge into. This is a world that is rapidly changing, connected, adapting, and evolving. Our style and approach to teaching must emphasize the learning in the 21st century. Thank you very much for listening. My name is Jenny Lucy Marciano, and I am a Master of Arts in Education student majoring in Technology and Home Management at National Teachers College.